Welcome to the Start Something Show. Join world-renowned experts, change agents, and everyday folks who have done the amazing. All here to help you start something incredible. Now it's time to step out, live your perfect day, and create a legacy with your host, Tina Dietz.
Hey, welcome to the Start Something Show. Come on in, grab a beverage, sit down, enjoy. Welcome to my home. My virtual home anyway. This is Tina Dietz. So happy to have you here. And today on the show, we're going to be talking with Gloria Coppola, who has reinvented herself and seems to be a common theme with these entrepreneurs I'm interviewing. Have you noticed that? Everybody has reinvented themselves a bunch of times. And I personally find that pretty freaking cool, pretty inspiring that you can change at any time you want to. Good for us creative folks. But Gloria used to be actually she still is, a massage therapist as well as a very well-known and well-respected continuing education teacher in that particular industry. But she's here to talk with us today about a venture that has been very successful for her as a leader in the network marketing industry, particularly in the organic nutrition arena. And so we're going to be talking about network marketing. Is it a legitimate business model to be working from? What to look out for? All of that good stuff later in the show today. But today, before we get to that, I want to give you our tech tip of the month. And this is a personal recommendation. I'll use everything that I recommend, of course, but as opposed to a business recommendation. And it is an app for your phone. It's also a website that you can use called Spark People. Now, there was a book that went along with this called The Spark, which honestly I never read, but I joined Spark People a bunch of years ago to help me track my health and wellness. And I just recently came into contact with the app. And this came out of a project that I'm doing with my mom, of all people, to increase our health and well-being. And the app is really cool, and I was really happy that my mom was able to figure it out. Not always easy to learn new technology, but she had no problem. And it's a way of tracking your food intake, your fitness, your health goals, and it's a really, really nicely designed app to be able to do so. Very helpful. You can even scan the barcodes on the foods that you're eating to help you actually keep track of your intake, which I know for me, food is sometimes something that I really, really, really enjoy, and I really, really, really don't pay enough attention to. So it's made a big difference for me to track that intake and as well as my exercise goals and kind of have a very satisfying, printout and a satisfying view of all the things that I'm doing to keep track of my health because, hey, if you and I are the franchise players of the game we're playing and the CEOs of our business, the last thing we need is to have our health break down. So check out the Spark People app. It is free. Joining the website is free at sparkpeople.com. This is not a paid sponsorship by any means. It's just something that I want to make sure you know about as a helpful tool, and it is our tech tip of the month. Today on the Start Something Show, I'm welcoming Gloria Coppola. Gloria has been a health and wellness entrepreneur for over 25 years, and she's been a successful massage school owner and continuing education provider specializing in the ancient art of Lomi Lomi, as well as a health coach, and she's the author of the beautiful book, Both Ends of the Rainbow. Gloria found some amazing success for both her health and her professional life in an unexpected place, helping thousands of people transform their health through whole food nutrition. And she is now a team leader for the organic nutrition company Purium. Gloria, thanks for starting something with me today.
Hey, Tina. Thank you.
Yeah, it's great having you on this show. Now, you and I originally met through the massage industry years ago.
We sure did.
Yeah, and a lot has changed since then. So I was so excited about, hearing what happened and how things have unfolded and the whole journey of ups and downs. I really wanted to share your story and also your expertise with our superstarters here today. So I appreciate you coming on the show. Now, your entrepreneurial journey started more than 25 years ago. What made you want to start something?
Well, probably because I don't like to take orders from other people in the sense of I'm creative and I like to put things in action in my speed pretty much. And so although I worked for a lot of people, I was always found myself moving up in ranks per se because of my abilities to lead groups, lead people, lead employees, and realized that I had a gift to be a starter. I'm very self-motivated, very ambitious, and I began to realize that I was doing a lot of work for other people, and why not do it for myself?
Yeah, exactly. I think that's why we get along so well. It's like, well, why? Well, because I want to do it my way. Thank you very much. Right. But now you've reinvented yourself and gone through a lot of transitions over the course of your career. And what was the turning point that brought you to this new chapter in your life, going from so many years in the education and coaching world to working with a company like Purium?
Good question. Well, Tina, I have always loved to help people. So everything I have done has been around health and wellness. And life was going through some different changes and challenges, as many people go through. Doorways begin to close. And that was what was happening. I moved to a different state and was having some challenges with getting my massage license. And I was not about to go back to massage school after 30 years and pay 25 grand. It just seemed a little absurd to me. So I took it as a sign that something else was coming forward. And I was already doing my health coaching practice, part-time in between, teaching. And I can still teach continuing education, so that's not an issue. I'm just not private practicing, which is okay by me too. It's a great transition. And so I actually said a prayer, Tina. I wanted to improve my health. I had had a back injury and wanted to lose the weight I put on. And obviously I needed to bring in some wealth to support myself. And I even asked for love along the way. And 12 hours later, that divine intervention call came and a friend introduced me to Purium Health products. And to be honest, at first I wasn't necessarily looking at that as the sign. But I'm a researcher, and I went online to research the company, the product, the ingredients, because that's important to me personally and professionally. And I had to giggle, Tina, because the company had a system called love. And to me, that was
You wanted love. That's great.
Yep.
So then, did you have any trepidations then, as many people do? A lot of my clients are in the network marketing industry, and one of the things they struggle with is kind of the reputation or the stories they hear about network marketing as a structure. Did you find yourself dealing with that?
Well, here's the interesting thing, Tina. I have always supported my colleagues that were in network marketing because I believe in direct sales. I believe in supporting small business and my friends. So I have bought products from so many network marketing companies. So when I ordered the product for myself, I was not looking to get involved in the business per se because I still thought I was going to be doing what I was doing. However, because of the brilliance of their gift card marketing system, I saw the ability to make the money back on my products, which is really what I was looking at first because of my financial situation. I was just like, if I can just get paid back on these products, that would be amazing. And it happened. And so then I got smart and I looked at the whole business opportunity. But I did have to call a friend, another successful colleague of ours, who also is in the massage industry and network marketing. And I said, listen, I really love the company. I love the products. They're working for me. I believe in that. But I never thought of myself as a network marketing professional. And she started to giggle and she said, well, you market and network all the time. And she put it in different perspective. And I said, well, yeah, I've been doing that my entire life, creating a network of colleagues and communities and referral services. And so she brought to me, the perception of, that whole, people think it's a pyramid scheme. And I never really looked at it totally as a pyramid scheme, quite frankly. But the way she spoke was she said, do you shop in a grocery food store? Do you shop in a department store? And she used different examples. And she said, every single one of those have an owner, a CEO of a company at the top. And then you've got your district regional managers and directors, and you have your supervisors, and you have your clerks, and you have your janitors, and there's your pyramid. She says, now the thing is that janitor is never going to own that company, never going to be making more than that company. But in network marketing, you put the effort that you do already in your business, which is a lot, and you and I, we work really hard. She says, you put that effort into this, you're going to move up in those ranks without somebody giving you, that, pat on the back. Okay, I'm going to make you a manager right now, but they don't really give you the salary that you would hope for the amount of work. But in network marketing, you get paid by the accomplishments, the time, the hard work that you put into. So there are actually people in Imperium Health Products making more money than the CEO of the company. So where's the pyramid? There is none.
Right. And when they talk about pyramid schemes and all of that, that really harkens back to some money scams that used to happen that, back into the 1920s and 30s, and really have nothing to do with companies that are set up with a direct sales structure. So just like anything else, just for a little more perspective for our super starters out there, it's all about researching, like Gloria was saying, researching the company, researching the products, doing your due diligence, just as though you were working with any other company. It doesn't really matter. You have to do the work to research, just like Gloria was saying, even if your intuition is strong. And Gloria, I always love how you bring this combination of intuition and hard facts to the table. That's really appealing.
And I think that's important. I do believe we all have gut feelings or intuition. I do, but I don't see everybody always acting upon them. They doubt themselves. And, part of the thing in being successful, as you know, in anything we do is to have 100% belief in yourself. And that includes trusting those gut instincts of where to be and who to be with and what you should listen to. And I'm fortunate that in my lifetime I have, been gifted with that, but I have developed it even more. So, for example, when I said that prayer to God, it didn't take me very long to see that that was the message I was being given.
Beautiful. Now, what has been, would you say, the biggest challenge for you in building this particular business?
Actually working with the people that come on as business, partners, the other promoters, because maybe their belief isn't 100% yet in themselves. And so personal development really is part of all business, okay, for success, all successful people. We actually have a term that this is a personal development company with a compensation plan. And I truly understand and get that, because when I bring someone on that does want the business opportunity, they may be excited, they may do well the first month or two or whatever. But then, all those other things that come up, our self-doubt, our perception of things, our old stories, or we're blaming an upline person or whatever it may be. And so the biggest challenge is really helping people see things from a new perspective and encouraging and supporting them to do their personal development, to move past their blocks so that they can actually achieve the success that they desire.
Yeah, it's always the people. It comes down to the people, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And how do you reach them? How do you reach them? Now, on the opposite side of things, what have been a favorite moment that you've had in developing this business?
Well, my first 3 months were really, really cool because all I was doing was being excited, number one, about my own health benefits and results and exciting other people about it. And so watching those people go through their transformations, and whether it was weight loss or more energy or getting their body out of pain, it just was super exciting. And so that kept me in a place of momentum, and it was like, oh gosh, there's another person, and isn't this cool? And I became a magnet for other people that wanted to do a transformation. So of course my business was building. And that was really exciting. And then about 10 months later, something very interesting happened, Tina. I was moving towards one of the higher ranks in the company at that time. And I looked at my report. We have what was called a downline report, which shows you where your business is and how much volume you have and what you need to get to the next level. And it was the night before the last day of the month. And it was Thanksgiving month, and up until Thanksgiving, everything was way ahead of the game, and I knew I was going to reach that rank. Thanksgiving came in, of course, things slowed down, but Thanksgiving is more like a 4-day weekend, not just a 1-day holiday. So things slowed down a little bit, and then it was like the night before, I was almost $8,000 away from what I needed to make that next rank. And for a split second, Tina, I went into, it's not going to happen. And then I immediately shifted my perspective and said, what would somebody do tomorrow morning that didn't have to worry at all about what it was like to live on the budget that I was living on? What would they be doing? Would they worry about this volume? How would they get out of that space? And how would that energy shift and change and make things happen? So I woke up that morning. I did not look at anything. And I decided to get dressed up in my best and go for a beautiful ride out in my neighborhood here. and it was a gorgeous day. I had no intentions of pulling into a car dealership at all, but I did, a Mazda one, which I never drove in a Mazda, never wanted a Mazda, but drove in one, thinking on Sunday they were closed. However, they were open. And so, of course, the salesperson comes out, and I'm being polite, and I'm going for a test drive, never intending to buy a Mazda at all, or any car. So after spending some time, because we all know in a car dealership, you're spending, sometimes hours, the energy in my business started to shift. And what I mean by that is all of a sudden team members were contacting me for help, for calls, to help with their people that wanted to, order. And I began to see that energy excitement start to take place. And that's where I stayed. In the meantime, this guy is trying to sell me a car, and I'm just going, yeah, this, that, yeah, that. And they kept coming back. And as long as I stayed in this really cool space, my phone kept ringing. And including my upline, one of my upline people says, what are you doing? I said, I think I'm in the middle of buying a car. And she was laughing. And she said, Gloria, she said, I just know this is going to be like an epic day that will go down in history. So needless to say, the point came where, the three-way kind of happens in the car dealership where their manager comes to say, well, we can't do this deal. Well, I really didn't care because I didn't want the deal, right? So he says, what can we do to make this happen? And I was on a call with my team, and I said, excuse me a moment. And I said, well, if you can do this, this, and this, I'll take the car. So needless to say, they went back and they made the numbers work. So here I was buying the car. But here's the kicker, too. Not only was the energy opening up for my team, okay, now the sales guy goes, well, we need to verify income. And of course, it's a Sunday, and how am I going to do that? And all of a sudden, I was like, wait a minute, let's go online into my downline commission report, and I'll show you. Well, his jaw dropped. And I said, and right now, I'm on the verge of making a really big bonus. And he's like, really? So I looked at his face of my accomplishments and realized I did accomplish a lot in 10 months. And this is pretty cool. And so I just stayed in that energy rather than worry. And then by the time I got out of there with a brand new car, mind you, I got home, and that night, Tina, because of that energy flowing, we worked up till midnight. 12 people in my downline company ranked, which means they moved up another level. And that also gave me the rank that I was achieving. And you know what? Miracles happen when you get out of your way.
Wow. That is a magical, wondrous day. Now, I know that an awful lot of work went into the building of that. But when it all comes together and you're able to just stay in the moment, stay present, let it flow and not force it and allow it to kind of come to you, that is just extraordinary. What an amazing day.
It was an amazing day. And if only I can teach that to every single person on my team, or out there in this business, is if you don't force it, if you're having fun, if you're in that vibration of joy and fun, and in easiness, it will get us out of our own way. If we go into frustration, getting upset, pounding our head, thinking, oh my God, what can I do? We almost come across too hard on people and too pushy, and it gives them a step back so things don't happen, because you're more in a desperation mode than you are in just having fun with all this. And I think that's what taught me that greatest lesson on that evening.
Yeah. And, you had mentioned early on that you had originally joined this company for some health benefits. You were recovering from a back injury. You wanted to release some weight that you weren't loving and some other things. What it ended up through your own process, because, so many times it's our own example that people want to follow, why people want to join us. People come to me because they want a freedom lifestyle. They want to build a business. They want to travel with their families. They're coming to you because they've seen the results that you've developed both on the business side and on the health side. So what health benefits did you end up creating through this process?
Great question, Tina. I was just trying to lose some of the weight that I had put on after my injury because I was fit and I went to fat and now I feel fabulous. And everything I was doing, even though I ate healthy, wasn't working. And I was diagnosed pre-diabetic. I was diagnosed with metabolic syndrome and adrenal exhaustion. And so my body had been working so hard that like nothing was working in the right way. And so the pounds were packing on, and I had more weight on me than I did combined with both of my pregnancies, and that did not feel good. So, of course, with a back injury, all that extra weight is going to do is make it even harder, okay, and make you more sluggish And I was feeling literally like a fat old grandma. And I did my first 10-day transformation. And by day 3, I woke up, because I always wake up and say a gratitude prayer. And I knew that something was different in my brain first and foremost. And it was like, what is that feeling? I think I vaguely remember it. Well, what it was mental clarity that I hadn't had at the level that, I missed. And then I realized, too, over the next few days that the anxiety that I dealt with was not happening. I was getting through a day extremely calm, centered, and grounded with no, that feeling like, oh, my gosh, I can't handle this. And that was a huge gift. And then, of course, I was losing weight, which I look at as was great because it's the first time I was actually losing weight, but it almost became the added benefit after everything. So in 10 days, I lost 10 pounds, 10 inches, which was phenomenal. And even my eyesight improved. People were teasing me because they're like, well, you're getting old, you need reading glasses. But, by the 5th, 6th day, I realized my eyesight had improved. And I was like, wow. So my energy level increased, and I just stayed on the program consistently for 3 months to lose 30 pounds, which successfully happened. And I continue to keep that weight off. And, I'm working on right now as we speak, another transformation to lose a little bit more weight that I want to take off at this point in time after a year and a half. But the health benefits have been tremendous. The core strength in my body, which I had lost, is back, at a level that I haven't had in over 8 years. And I'm now going to go work with a fitness trainer next week because I actually can do things now where a year ago I couldn't do 2 sit-ups. I could do 150 now. Ooh. I took a hour water aerobics class yesterday that was a bit aggressive in deep water, and I didn't wake up hurting with the loss of my legs in pain that I would have a year ago. So there's just been a plethora of health benefits that continue, including my skin getting younger and more glowing. And I turned 60 in August, and most people just can't even believe that that's my age. They're like, no way.
That's always good to hear. That's for sure. Let's turn our attention to now, the business building end of things and some recommendations that you might have for someone who is wanting to look at the different opportunities in network marketing. How would you recommend that somebody goes about researching or determining if an opportunity is good for them?
Well, first of all, I think we need to find a company with a product that we're going to believe in, because if you don't have passion around that, it's not going to work. If I had gone into another company and I've been approached by many and have signed up just to explore. I used to do essential oil companies because everyone was like, oh, you're a massage therapist and teacher. It's a perfect combination. And I'm a certified aromatherapist, so you would think so. But whether it was right timing or not enough passion behind it, it didn't work for me, okay? I've been introduced to skincare companies, and travel companies. I love travel, I love beautiful skin, but my passion wasn't behind it. So I think everybody has to find their passion through a company that they want to represent and, be a product of the product.
To find a product that actually works for you. Mm-hmm. Now, what about evaluating how the business side of a company works? What does someone who's new at this, what kind of questions should they be asking?
Well, interestingly enough, not many people ask the business questions, Tina, I find. They go into to try the product first, and then the business questions come after. Very few come with the business questions, but the typical ones is what does the compensation plan look like? And in network marketing, there's a variety of types of compensation plans. And I think one of the reasons that I shied away from it in the previous lifetimes when I was introduced was because of the complicated systems they had that to me just was like too overwhelming. With Imperium, it's a uni-level one. It's very easy to work with. And because of their gift card marketing system, give 50, get 50. Well, that's easy math, And so there wasn't a lot of percentage calculation on, I get 2% of this or 5% of that, in the beginning. Later on, as we work with people going down many levels, there is, but getting started was really easy. So most people are looking at a compensation plan that's going to bring them in some residual income. I am already in residual income. Actually, the first year I was in residual income. And a lot of people that are in network marketing have told me after a year, they're still not in residual income. So it probably has to do with the formulation and the structure of their compensation plan.
Very good point. Very good point. It does pay to take a look at those compensation plans based on what you think you want. But you're right that it's being able to believe in the company, being able to believe in the product. Now, many times you hear people who, start with the product and then they want to go into the business side of things. Now, you and I have both invested a lot of time, energy, and money into personal and professional development, and we're big advocates for people doing that. If somebody wanted to say put both feet in, what's the reality of that? What should people, kind of start to work into? What habits do they need to develop?
Oh, that's a good one. Well, you know what? The personal development is the key, and I have to tell everybody out there. Every dime that I have made in this last year and a half of everything I have made, Tina, has gone back into personal development, private coaches, plethora of books and CDs. And what I realized was, for me personally, that when I had reached a certain level, in the beginning, it was easy for me because I had done some personal development already. I was, building confidence. I had been successful. But I realized when I got to a certain level, I came to a block, and I had to explore what that block was about and what that meant. And part of that was a level of leadership that I was going to have to step up to, because if I was going to jump in with both those feet and want to achieve a goal beyond anything I've achieved, it meant I had to become a better leader, which I'm still learning. There's always growth in that. And because we're human, we're going to make little faux pas and mistakes along the way. So the leadership personal development was a huge one for me. And I find in talking to even my team, when they're projecting out, some big goals, often what comes up for them is the fear that they won't be a good enough leader. So that's where I started.
Okay. Now, so where at the end of this year would you like to find yourself with your team?
I would absolutely love, and it would bring me such great pleasure to see the team leadership, in all my business partners achieve their goals. Many of them have been working diligently, going through the different levels of frustration and setbacks and so forth. And I really think it's time for them, Tina, they have put a lot of effort, energy, and personal development, and whatever that little piece is for them that they need to break through, I would love to see them have that breakthrough. We have convention coming up this week, actually, August 14th through the 16th, and it would be just super exciting to see them, if they want to be diamond, walk across that stage diamond, and by the end of the year, if they want to be a higher diamond rank or a crown, that they achieve that. I have to say, as much as I have my own goals, obviously, and in helping other people, we get our goals, I couldn't be happier to help every one of them achieve their life dreams, because my heart would just extremely smile for them.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons I recommend people who are givers to take a look at this particular way of doing business and find a company that works for them, especially if they are new at business, because it really is a go-giver, as Bob Berg would say, type of business where people who are good at helping people also benefit from it as well. It really is a very much full circle.
Totally, because you get to help them with your products first, and then you get to help them achieve the financial wealth that they're trying to bring in to create the life that they want and achieve their goals. So you're just constantly in that mode of helping.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you could, and we're not going to sugarcoat it though, are we, Gloria? You do have to work your butt off, don't you?
You do. You have to be dedicated. I made a commitment, Tina, 2 years of no distractions, and that meant certain sacrifices had to be made without excuses. Okay. And for me, it means, if there's something that I normally would put attention or time to, I'm not going to. And I, even had to tell friends, this is what I'm doing. I would appreciate your support and respect and so forth, even my family. And while it can be a challenge, you hear the saying, it may be hard, but it's worth it. It's true, because of this level of commitment, I've seen the benefits already. I've seen that remaining focused with no excuses and no distractions can truly get you to that place of your dreams quicker. I also see the days where I get discouraged, frustrated, and want to throw the towel in. And there's been about 7 times in the last year and a half. So it doesn't.
Just 7? I'm impressed.
Well, about every 2 months, that's averaging, and, but I don't stay there long. I know enough that I got to shake it off and find in, 1 day or less, shake it off, because if I throw the towel in, what's the option? Going to get a job that's going to start me out at a very low wage, that's not going to pay my bills and answer to somebody that I may or may not like to work for. That's not the option anymore. I know, being an entrepreneur, first of all, we know it's a wonderful lifestyle. And I know that by focusing on something that now I have such drive and passion and know my why, I'm willing to make those little sacrifices, and I'm willing to do the personal growth to get out of the old story. Those old stories can be so stifling. And a lot of the work that I've done on myself is removing those stories. And it's been my upline team that has helped me. It's been outside coaches, including you, Tina, that has helped along with me and my team when we did the session with my team. And that's been beneficial, And then I went to a convention of network marketing professionals and was talking to Todd Falcone. And just by a casual conversation of something he said, which I knew the answer to, but I realized it was something I wasn't doing for a large period of my life, but I didn't know why. And all of a sudden, the old memory that I had buried so deeply from an embezzlement I had in my company 16 years ago when my husband died, that I didn't have time to grieve that, fight that, sue the accountant or anything. It came up in that moment. And that I realized was a block that was holding me back from being successful at the level of income I want, because who can I trust with my money? And so that simple conversation, shook that off for me after I journaled for 10 pages and cried, of course.
Of course.
But it moved me, to where I need to go. And just by asking simple questions now, who do you know that would be a reliable person in this industry that, you trust, that perhaps I can trust? And I got referrals. So now I'm ready, girl.
You are one of the most ready people I have ever met, Gloria, and I am just thrilled that you are able to join us on the show today. And will you stick around for the backstage pass when we can dig into some more skill building and information and goodies for folks who want to, reinvent themselves, work with the holistic industries and help other people? You game to have that conversation?
Absolutely.
Awesome. All right, superstarters. Well, stick around for the backstage pass with Gloria Coppola. We're going to get real and raw like we always do and give you some great, great tools and resources and information for you to continue to start something in your lives. And Gloria, one last thing. If you had to start it all over and you had the knowledge that you have now, but not the resources that you've built over the years, and you wanted to go ahead and start something tomorrow, what are some of the first steps you would take?
Wow. I wish I knew what I know now 30 years ago. Oh, I would find a coach. I would find a coach that can open me up, crack my shell, mirror the things back to me that I needed, to move through whatever it was that was going to stop my success. Because a private coach, an accountability coach, has been the best investment I have ever made.
Beautiful. Well, I'm certainly in alignment with that. Thanks again, Gloria. It's been a real pleasure having you on the show today.
Thank you.
All right. And Superstarters, you can join us next week. Thank you for joining us on the Start Something Show, and we'll see you on the Backstage Pass.
Start something with purpose. Start something with freedom. Start something now. Go to thestartsomethingshow.com, join our community of superstarters, and get your perfect day planner pack, a free resource to help you create the life you've dreamed of living. Take action now, and we'll see you for our next exciting episode.